Hi guys, Herbalist40 here, and thank you for joining me today. Right, so I have for you here something I believe to be very interesting. I think you're all going to enjoy it. I think it's going to be a breath of fresh air, to say the least, compared to some of the bullshit that's been going around these past couple of weeks. But anyway, let's not get started on a rant. What we have here essentially is the 70 Rockstar or GTA 5 trophies that were available to us, including the final one, the Platinum one. Out of all of them, some really do stand out to me. Now, the first bunch is, as you can see on the screen right now, now these ones, apart from all the other 70, these ones all have a mask on them. Now, my first question is it a mask or is it an infinity symbol? Second question, why the fuck do these 10 out of all 70 have an infinity symbol on them, and or a mask or an infinity mask? Who knows? Why, for a start? Maybe someone out there can answer that in a split second. I did have a good look and really couldn't find an answer to my question. So first of all, that really stands out to me because these trophy logos are specially designed for our game. They are unique images, and as many things that we overlook, they could hold more importance than we know. While we're on the subject here of trophies, I do want to point out that in my opinion there are two types of hunters when it comes to this game in particular. The type of hunter that we are, hunting for a mystery, and then you have another type of hunter, and that's the type of guy who wants platinum on every single game on his console. And those type of people, in my opinion, don't really have the time or maybe even the envy or the desire to look into the mystery. So how many of you out there have actually achieved the platinum trophy? Is it possible to complete them without these ones perhaps, or perhaps just these ones to start with? I don't know. There's a lot of questions that come into play. I definitely wanted to bring this up because I mean, for real, like there's a little mixture obviously of online ones and story mode ones. Yes, I have pretty much always stood by the fact that, to me, the mystery is only in the story mode version of the game, but I have always been adamant that a lot of clues have been scattered out online to maybe encourage more than just the story mode players to get involved. Maybe the people who prefer the online are being baited in with certain clues that were put in that version of the game. So I don't know. Good question there, in my opinion. But moving on to the more interesting stuff, on the screen right now I have selected the 3 trophies out of the 70 that really stand out to me. The first one at the top of the list is a mystery solved, and it's to solve the mystery of Leonora Johnson. Now, why am I bringing this up? Dead simple, in my opinion. A mystery solved, not mystery solved, a mystery solved. What does that tell you? If you go by rules of writing and language and how things are said properly, a mystery solved would lead you to believe that there's others. So that's our first indication. Second indication, it's a piece of a puzzle. The logo is one piece of a puzzle that can be connected by left, right and front. It's not a corner piece, I'll have you know. So that leads you to, if you want to go into it deep enough, if you really want to open your mind, that leads you to understand that there's probably a multitude of pieces that need to be connected to resolve the enigma, the question mark inside that piece. Now, to me, that's just proof, clear evidence that we're definitely looking for something else. We're looking to solve something else. There is no doubt there for me. Now, the second one in line, a friendship resurrected, a trident going through a sun or a star. Now, for this, I'm going to switch to my camera because it was just a little bit easier for me to show everything that I wanted. So basically here I'm going to explain to you in depth why this symbol is important, why we need to pay attention to it, and why it could help us solve a lot, and then I'll join you again after the camera for the last trophy. Right, so the reason I've singled this one out with the more important trophies in my opinion is first of all because you obtain this trophy through completing the mission Fame or Shame, I believe, and in that mission essentially Trevor comes back to find Michael for the first time in the past 9 years, or however long it was they hadn't seen each other. Now there's a lot going on here. Now I'm going to try and keep it simple and give you the best examples and comparisons that I possibly can. First of all, the trident here is piercing through a sun or a star, depending on how you want to look at it. I don't really see what else it could be. Don't tell me UFO, because I've heard enough of that in the past few days. I think we all have. So essentially the trident is piercing through the sun or the star, or maybe the morning star, the sun. Who knows? But this is a mission where essentially Friendship Resurrected is in regards to Trevor and Michael finding each other again, and from here on in the game this is where it all starts basically. This is the point where we have all three characters at once. Now I'm going to be showing you a couple different things which relate to this quite nicely, but the first of which is going to have to be our dear friend Brio674. So I was pretty sure most of you have seen all of his videos, but I just want to point out that Bri, and don't get me wrong, I knew this, Wispy knew this, a couple of us knew this, but Bri has been on the right track for a long time when he mentions the Greek Trinity, and I'm going to let you guys check out these videos. If you haven't, I will make sure to put his link in the description of my video. And the second thing that Bri was on par with, and it's something that I've discussed a couple times before, is Uranus. Now I'm going to show you a little clip of a documentary basically that relates to Back to the Future. This documentary I found on a random post on Reddit. It was in the comments, or the post was it, I'm not too sure, but it was in a post on Reddit. I watched it, and one part in particular connects to what I'm talking to now, so I'm going to show you guys, and hopefully you can get the bigger picture. Right, so what we're looking at here is the documentary I just mentioned, and basically, if you remember Back to the Future, the whole scene of Doc hanging off the clock tower, and this dude's theory, which is a very credible one, and it's an excellent documentary, and I'll repeat, I will be putting the link in the description below, so go check it out. But basically here he's going to explain that the clock tower is represented by Cronus. He's going to explain that Hades is represented by Marty McFly, and that Zeus is represented by Doc, and you'll see in just a second what represents Poseidon, or how Poseidon comes into the scene, because essentially this trio here are the ones, or yeah, these guys here are the ones who took on Cronus in Greek mythology, and it's basically they defeated time, because Cronus is the god of time. Now I'm just going to play it, and I'm going to pause it in a second to explain something real quick, and a separate point to this, which is why I mentioned Uranus earlier in Bri's channel. But anyway, let's quickly check this out.
Of his two brothers, Poseidon and Hades. Zeus is the personification of the planet Jupiter, Cronus the personification of Saturn, while Hades is the personification of the planet Pluto. If this is truly a reenactment of the Olympian rise to power, then we should find both Hades and Poseidon present at the scene. Luckily, Hades is so clearly represented by Marty McFly that it is almost laughable. We learn that Universal Studios head Sig Sheinberg advocated a replacement of the title Back to the Future with Spaceman from Pluto, referring to Marty McFly, who was even supposed to state the line, "I am a spaceman from Pluto," which would have overtly stated his Hades-Pluto synchronistic entrainment. In this scene, Marty McFly is identified as a godlike alien supremacy from, of course, Pluto.
Hey, Doc?
Then there's the introduction of Marty McFly, where for the first time ever he enters into frame to garner first impressions from an estranged audience, only to draw the audience's attention directly to the element plutonium, which is directly named after the planet Pluto.
Right, now here's why I brought up Uranus, or Uranus, as you wish. In-game, if I'm not mistaken, sorry, I'm still a little bit ill. In-game, if I'm not mistaken, we basically drop uranium at the bottom of the ocean. Now, as you can see clearly here, it's one of the many examples that they were given towards Back to the Future and Pluto. They presented plutonium. Now, in our case, we've been talking a lot about Uranus, and it just happens to present us with uranium in the game itself. So therefore, that's another connection yet again, because uranium would be based, I imagine, I haven't really done the research, but if you're not retarded and this dude's explaining that plutonium is named after Pluto, uranium must be named after Uranus. Therefore, just another little hint that we might have missed, or some of us might have missed.
He is introducing himself, not just as Marty McFly, but as an earthly personification of the planet Pluto, and thus the god Hades. Each of the three brothers had a special weapon which they used during the battle against the god of time, Cronus. Zeus had his lightning bolt, Poseidon had his trident, Hades had his helm of darkness, which made him invisible. In the second film, Marty becomes the Invisible Man, wearing a black hat and an all-black disguise in an attempt to be unseen, which he achieves for a large portion of the film, whereby he walks about in broad daylight and plain sight but is never spotted. Invisibility is his power. Marty is also the only character in the entire trilogy to ever actually turn somewhat invisible. Thus we have the two brothers, Zeus and Hades, fighting against Cronus Clock Tower. The scene has come together quite nicely. If only we could find the last piece of the puzzle, the third brother, Poseidon, somewhere. This scene happens moments before the clock tower fight scene. Hades is doing his invisible thing, and there he is. The last piece of the Olympian god puzzle falls solidly into place, and our Olympian trio materializes. Ready?
Right, so I'm sure all of you know this, but if you didn't, time travel since the start has been a major element towards our mystery. Now, with what Bry's put on the table, with what Wispy's put on the table, with what Jack Treehorn's put on the table, with what I've put on the table, I think there is a strong possibility here that we might have to reenact and take part in a similar battle against time, because essentially that's what time travel is. It's defeating time. This is what I had to show you on this clip, on the whole aspect of the trident that we were shown in the trophy logo. I'm not going to start putting labels on our three characters or anyone else for the moment as to who would take what place. Bry essentially put Michael in the position of Poseidon, for good reason, but we might have to come back on that. I'm not too sure yet, but we will be looking into all this in the near future. I think for now though, we're going to jump back to the last main trophy that I spotted amongst all 70. So I'll catch you in just a second for that. Right, so guys, for the final and most important and most interesting trophy that this game has to offer, and that is the Platinum Trophy that you get for achieving all 69 other trophies. This one just blows it all out. Like, I mean, I don't mean to be a dick here, but if you want to go around chasing dots in the sky with absolutely no idea as to what and why or what the fuck you're doing there in the first place, and claiming that everyone hears a song, I'm really not being a dick here, but the problem is like, you are attracted to things like that. Now, I understand that that shit's attractive, but that's the kind of shit that will lead you down a road where you're like a fly in front of a fucking light and you just can't stop headbutting it. You just nothing's going to progress from that. But here, just read it. Los Santos Legend, congratulations, you're Vinewood's biggest star. So this platinum trophy comes with this little greeting message. Now, this to me, as I said, is just so clear it hurts. Los Santos Legend, I'm not going to bring it up for you, but a legend is in some way a story, or sometimes a myth, or sometimes a mystery. The legend of. Now, they could have chosen a lot of words. They chose Los Santos Legend. And then they say, congratulations, you're Vinewood's biggest star. You're Vinewood's biggest star. Shoot for the stars. If you accomplish this trophy, they tell you you are Vinewood's biggest star. Now, just why Vinewood's biggest star? For a starter in Los Santos. Second of all, the only one who pays any particular interest to Vinewood is Michael. The words chosen here are no mistake. Mark my words, no mistake. I'll give you another example. It's presented with the seal of Los Santos. Los Santos Legend. Another example for legend. The legend of Bigfoot. What is the legend of Bigfoot? A mystery. Congratulations, you are Vinewood's biggest star. I want that to resonate in your heads, because as far as I'm concerned, this is all out of place. This was all for us to be noticed, and there's a strong chance that we need to aim for this. Come back when your story is complete, not come back when your story is 100% or your game is 100%. Understand the right things at the right moments.
Right, so now we're done with the trophies. Just a couple little things that I think you guys will find quite interesting before I go. The first of which is, this is the Whippet race bike. Now, this is obviously like the proper sports race edition bike that we have in the game, but I don't know if any of you know this. I certainly didn't until today. There's another bicycle that's very similar to this one, and it's called the Fixter. I'm going to read this out to you. The Fixter is a race bike featured in Grand Theft Auto 5. The Fixter is a sports bicycle that appears to be customised by civilians, and it's one of the rarest vehicles in GTA 5, along with the Asea Original Edition and the Space Docker. The Fixter may come in a wide variety of 2 colours and small lights. Now, here they clearly say obviously the performance is a little below the Whippet race bike, which is how I realised they weren't the same, because they look pretty much the same. And it says, appears in the Rampage 5, can be obtained after the Rampage is completed, specifically Mirror Park. Note that the Fixter will not always spawn, therefore requires a few tries until a hipster is seen on a bike, but one thing 100% is clear is that no other bicycle spawns. Now, in the trivia, the name Fixter is a combination of the words fixie and hipster, as hipsters are known to ride fixies. This is demonstrated in the same Rampage. Now, Trevor hates to be fucking called a hipster, and if you go by the game, whoever hates to be called by a hipster is by default a hipster. I'm just really wondering, guys, if we don't actually need this particular bicycle for Trevor. And obviously this is just one tiny element amongst many that I've brought up before, but as far as vehicles go, since I've done the Grand Theft Auto show, I've been doing a lot of work, and we're going to be looking into something along the lines of vehicles in my next video as well. I don't really want to do too many spoilers, I don't want to get that shit pinched off me, but yeah, interesting, unique vehicle. one more thing before I go, I think you guys will like, as I said. Catch you for that in one sec.
Okie dokie, so there we have it for today's episode. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I hope that the information revealed to you so far has been interesting. As I said, I had this one last little thing to show you that I think you guys are going to like. I've done a lot of research on Mrs. Phillips. I cannot find for the life of me who played this woman. She is not in the Rockstar editor or director mode as far as I can tell. I could be mistaken, but I couldn't see her in there, which is a real bitch to me because I was planning on using her in a project. But yeah, why isn't she credited? Why don't we know who she is? Why is she not available in the Rockstar editor? Who is she? Now, I'm going to share with you now, as you can see on the screen already, the first thing that hit me, the first time I ever saw Trevor's mum, is it smacked me in the head. I was like, fuck me, she looks like Sharon Osbourne. For those of you who don't know who Sharon Osbourne is, it's the woman on the screen here, and she is the wife of Ozzy Osbourne. They had 2 kids, Jack and Kelly Osbourne, and they featured in a reality TV show that was very famous, The Osbournes. A lot of people enjoyed it. It was quite funny. Ozzy's a wicked cool guy. He's really funny, but what he's really known for the people of his generation, Sharon's husband Ozzy is the Prince of Darkness. He was the lead singer of Black Sabbath, a solo artist as well. She is also his producer, and he was known as the Prince of Darkness. He was considered the incarnation of evil. There are rumours about him biting bats' heads off on stage and really crazy, outrageous shit like that. I'm not going to even... If you haven't got the correlation between Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, and all the things that Wispy's told you about the Sabbath, the resemblance here is striking. I mean, they couldn't have done it much better. I could have got the photos up, but I couldn't really be bothered to do too much effort on this particular thing because there's not much more to say than this. But Sharon has always had a passion for leopard skin clothing. The red hairstyle that Trevor's mum has is Sharon's signature hairstyle, short red hair. The last thing I'm going to say is pay attention to Ozzy's jacket in the photo and his glasses. They both feature purple. I've told you many times before, purple is evil. Now, I'm going to end this video here for today, guys. I do have a couple days of work away from home, but once I get back, I do have another really wicked video to give you. I was going to fit it into this, but I don't really have the time. I have to go to bed because I'm up early. So anyway, wish me luck for them couple days. I hope you all enjoyed once again, and as usual, guys, until next time, take it easy and see ya.